You're not running out of time, you're just wasting it while you're doubting your worth, scrolling through someone else's success, convincing yourself it's too late. Time is walking out the door with your potential in its hands. Every second is either building you or burying you, and the truth, time doesn't care, but you should. Let's talk about how to use time like a boss. Not just manage it, not just survive it OWNID. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose friends and make new ones. You can fall, fail, and still find your way back up. But time doesn't play that game. Once it's gone, it's gone. There is no restart button. No matter how much you beg, plead, or promise to do better next time, time won't wait. It won't stop, it won't even slow down. It's the only currency that you are constantly spending, even when you're unaware of it. And yet, most people treat it like it's infinite, as if there's always another hour, another day, another chance. But there isn't. The truth is, every second you waste is a second you never get back, and that should shake you to your core. We live in a culture that glorifies busy, but being busy isn't the same as being intentional. People fill their calendars with meetings they hate, conversations that drain them, and tasks that don't move them an inch closer to who they want to become. They stay in jobs that suffocate them, relationships that steal their peace, routines that numb their spirit, all while telling themselves, "It's fine, I've got time." But time is not your comfort zone. It's your accountability partner. It's showing you who you are by how you spend it. Every hour is either a deposit into your dreams or a withdrawal from your future. You don't get to live the life of your dreams on the leftovers of your attention. Think about this. If time was money and every minute cost you $1, would you still waste hours scrolling through other people's lives? Would you still say yes to things that drain your energy? Would you still spend your mornings hitting snooze, your afternoons overthinking, and your nights numbing out? Probably not. But we don't see the cost of our time because it's invisible, until it's too late. Until the opportunity is gone, until the door is closed, until the chapter has ended and all you're left with is the weight of regret. And that's the most painful currency of all. You weren't born to watch life pass you by. You weren't born to just exist. You were born to create, to build, to lead, to own your hours with the fire of someone who knows what she's made of. But you can't do that if you keep giving your time to things that don't grow you. If you keep surrendering your schedule to other people's priorities. If you keep living on autopilot, greatness doesn't show up uninvited. It requires space, time, and relentless focus. And that starts with honoring the currency you've been given, time. There's a silent tragedy in wasted time. It doesn't scream. It doesn't announce itself. It just quietly slips through your fingers while you tell yourself someday, someday when you're ready, someday when the timing is perfect, someday when life calms down. But someday is a fantasy. The only real moment you have is now, and the clock isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. It's reflecting your habits, your fears, your discipline. And if you're brave enough to really look, you'll see the truth. You don't need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have. So the next time you feel tempted to waste an hour, remember this. Time is the most ruthless currency you'll ever own. It's not loyal. It won't wait for your excuses. It won't forgive your laziness. And it won't come back to comfort you later. It is cold, it is fair, and it is powerful. But if you learn to respect it, protect it, and use it like a boss, it will reward you with a life that looks like magic to everyone else, but feels like alignment to you. ChatGPT said, "You are not too busy. You're just not being honest about what matters to you." That's the hard truth most people avoid. It's easier to say, "I didn't have time," than to admit, "I didn't choose to make time." But every hour you live is a decision. You're choosing what to invest in, where to put your energy, who gets your attention, and what goals you either move toward or abandon. The question is not whether you have time. The question is, what are you choosing over your dreams, over your health, over your peace? The woman you want to become, she's not hiding, she's waiting. Waiting for you to stop acting like your life is happening to you and start realizing. It's being created by you hour by hour. Your calendar is your mirror. It shows you your priorities more honestly than your words ever will. You can say you want growth, but if you're giving your mornings to chaos and your evenings to mindless distraction, then what you're actually prioritizing is avoidance. You can say you want healing, but if every spare moment goes to noise, entertainment, or people who drain you, then you're not choosing healing. You're choosing delay. The truth is in how you spend your hours. It's in the moments you think don't matter. It's in the choices you make when no one's watching. That's where transformation lives, and that's where most people lose themselves. Quietly, gradually, without ever realizing they've traded greatness for comfort. If you've got time to scroll, you've got time to study. If you've got time to complain, you've got time to create. If you've got time to overthink, you've got time to take action. You are not as powerless as you've convinced yourself. You just haven't trained your mind to choose discipline over distraction. The brain will always crave comfort first, until you condition it to crave results, and the only way to do that is by choosing powerfully every single day. By deciding that your future is worth more than your excuses, that your growth is worth more than your temporary feelings, that your mission is worth more than your fear. People wait for motivation, but bosses don't wait. They plan. They don't let the day dictate them. They dictate the day. They show up to their hours with intention, and that's the real flex. Not being busy, but being focused. Not being overwhelmed, but being deliberate. You don't have to fill every hour with noise. You just have to own every hour like it matters, because it does. Your goals don't care if you're tired. Your purpose doesn't care if it's inconvenient. If it's on your heart, it's on you to make time for it. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. The way you spend your time shapes your identity. The things you consistently make time for become who you are. You become what you repeat. You become what you commit to. So if you're not where you want to be, don't look at your circumstances. Look at your habits. Look at your patterns. Look at the hours you're giving away to things that don't move you, grow you, or honor you. And then ask yourself, how much longer am I going to rob myself of the life I was born to live? Because that's what you're doing every time you say yes to something that doesn't align. This life doesn't reward effort. It rewards execution. Ideas are cheap. Intentions are everywhere, but the woman who wins, she's the one who shows up. Even when it's hard, even when no one claps, even when no one sees. She's the one who makes powerful choices in quiet hours. She's the one who builds when others scroll, who focuses when others fear, who moves when others stall. You have that power too, but only if you stop waiting for time to appear and start making it count. Every hour is your vote, cast it wisely. Forget what you say matters. Forget the goals written on your vision board. Forget the affirmations you repeat in the mirror every morning. Because none of it means anything if your actions don't back it up. Time is the real truth teller. It reveals what you actually value, what you're truly committed to, and what you're silently prioritizing, whether you admit it or not. You can say you want success, but if your time is going to distractions, self, doubt, or comfort, then that's your real focus. You can say you want change, but if you're pouring your hours into escaping instead of evolving, then you're lying to yourself. And you can't outsmart time. It's the one mirror that never lies. Think about what your last 24 hours looked like. Not the filtered version you tell yourself, but the real breakdown of where your time went. Did you invest in your body, your mind, your business, your healing, or did your day slip away into mindless routines, social media spirals, and energy, draining conversations? Every minute told a story, every hour left a clue. Time doesn't care about your potential. It only reflects your patterns, and your patterns are shaping your life, whether you're conscious of them or not. The woman you want to become, she's hiding in your habits, not your hopes, not your intentions, your habits. You can't fake your way into excellence. You can't hope your way into confidence or wish your way into impact. You have to earn it, and the currency is time. The reps you put in behind the scenes, the hours you spend building when no one's clapping, the uncomfortable choices you make when no one's watching, the discipline to show up again and again when it would be easier to quit. That's where real power is built, in the spaces most people overlook, in the hours most people waste. The people who rise aren't always the most talented, the most connected, or the most lucky. They're just the most consistent with how they spend their time. Stop telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie dressed in comfort. You only have now, right now, this hour, this minute, and every time you choose to delay, to avoid, to scroll, to shrink, you are making a quiet agreement to stay exactly where you are. And maybe you're not ready to hear that, but the version of you that's trapped in average needs to hear it, because she's been leading your life for far too long, and the longer you wait, the louder your regret will become. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you never made the time. Want confidence, then make time for the things that challenge you. Want clarity, then spend time in silence, in reflection, in intentional planning. Want freedom, then discipline your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Most people are building someone else's dream, fueling someone else's platform, scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, while their own purpose waits in the background untouched. If you don't fight for your hours, you will be owned by distractions, and they will rob you blind. With your permission, time is a mirror, but it's also a map. It's guiding you toward who you're becoming. Every decision is a direction. Every moment is momentum. You are either moving closer to the woman you're meant to be, or drifting further into the version of you that settles. And you get to decide. Every single day, the clock doesn't lie, the hours don't lie. So stop telling yourself stories and start studying your time. Because once you see the truth in how you spend it, you can reclaim it, redirect it, and use it to build the life you've been craving. Your morning is not just a routine, it's a declaration. It sets the tone for how you show up, not just to the world, but to yourself. The first hour of your day is either your foundation or your destruction. It's the difference between stepping into your power or sleepwalking through your potential. Most people roll out of bed, grab their phone, and instantly hand their focus to the world. Notifications, messages, scrolling, comparison. It all hits before they've even connected with themselves. And from that moment on, they're reacting, they're chasing, they're scattered. But women who win don't react. They rise with clarity, with conviction, with command over their time. There's a reason your energy feels drained before noon, because you're giving your prime focus to things that don't deserve it. The morning is when your mind is clearest, your willpower is strongest, and your emotional defenses are at their peak. If you waste that sacred window on chaos, comfort, or consumption, don't be surprised when the rest of your day feels off. Balance. If your first move is to check your phone, compare your life, or scroll through other people's priorities, then you've already surrendered your power. You've already told the world, I'll let you tell me who I should be today. But a boss doesn't ask permission. She sets the tone. Owning your morning doesn't mean you need a perfect routine with a green smoothie, yoga, and a checklist of self-help rituals. It's not about aesthetics, it's about intention. Did you wake up for yourself or for the noise? Did you check in with your vision before you checked into the world? Did you move your body, train your mind, and direct your thoughts? Or did you let the same patterns repeat themselves unchecked? The most powerful women in the world aren't perfect. They're deliberate. They understand that how they begin the day is how they lead their lives. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters first. The reason people stay stuck in cycles of procrastination, confusion, and inconsistency is because they start every day already behind. behind in energy, behind in mindset, behind in alignment. And once you're behind, you're chasing the clock. You're racing through your responsibilities, constantly overwhelmed, constantly reactive. That's not living, that's surviving, and you weren't born to survive. You were born to lead, to build, to create from a place of power. That starts the second you open your eyes. Are you feeding your fire, or are you numbing it with distractions? That choice defines everything. When you master your mornings, you anchor your life. You create a rhythm that supports your growth, not sabotages it. A rhythm that puts your goals front and center before the chaos of the world tries to bury them. You can pray, meditate, journal, move your body, read, plan, whatever aligns with you, but make it yours. Make it sacred, make it untouchable, because the world will take everything you give it. Your time, your energy, your focus, your soul, but your morning, that should be yours. It should be the one part of your day that belongs fully to you and your mission. No one becomes powerful by accident, and no one wakes up unstoppable without preparing their mind for it. Every woman you admire, every leader you respect, they didn't stumble into greatness, they chose it. Day after day, morning after morning, while the rest of the world hit snooze, they were stepping into alignment. While others reached for distraction, they reached for discipline, and that's the separation. Not talent, not luck, time used with intention. The woman who owns her morning doesn't just own her day. She owns her life. I don't have time, is the lie we tell to protect our comfort. It sounds harmless, even responsible. But let's get honest. You do have time. You're just not making it a priority. When you say you don't have time to work on yourself, what you're really saying is, it's not important enough right now. When you say you don't have time to chase your dream, you're saying, I'd rather stay comfortable than be courageous. That's the truth, and it's time to call it out, because the more you hide behind that excuse, the more you condition your brain to settle, to delay, to shrink, and nothing powerful grows in that mindset. Think about it. When something is on fire, you don't ask, do I have time to put it out? You just move, instinct kicks in, you act fast. You act now. That's what priority looks like. So why don't we move with that same urgency when it comes to our purpose, our healing, our personal growth? Because deep down, we're more afraid of change than we are of staying stuck. It's safer to say, I didn't have time, than to admit, I didn't choose discipline. But if you want to shift your reality, you have to shift your language. Replace I don't have time with, it's not a priority. And watch how fast your decisions change. The things you say you want, confidence, clarity, success, peace, they're all on the other side of uncomfortable decisions. They require you to carve out time even when it's inconvenient, to show up when you don't feel like it, to stretch your limits when your mind begs for ease. But here's the thing, your time is already being used. The only question is whether it's being used by you or by your distractions. The difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck isn't time. It's commitment. The committed woman makes time, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align, you're saying no to something that does. You're not just wasting time, you're misplacing your future. That 2-hour scroll session, that's 2 hours you could have spent reading, creating, learning, moving, healing. And no, this isn't about being productive every second of the day. This is about being intentional with what matters, because your dreams don't need perfection. They need priority. They need a version of you that says, I'll make time for what matters, even if I have to let go of what doesn't. It's time to stop negotiating with your goals. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the open schedule, the magical energy spike. That moment won't come. You create it by deciding, by drawing a line in the sand and saying, this matters, I matter, my future matters, and I will give it the time it deserves. Because if you don't, no one else will. The world isn't going to slow down for your healing. It's not going to clear your calendar for your growth. You have to protect that space, guard it, fight for it like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's the final truth. You don't get the life you want by fitting it into the leftovers of your day. You build it first. You wake up and put it front and center. And if you have to say no to people, comfort, distractions, or even your own fears, then so be it. Because a woman who refuses to prioritize herself is a woman who will always live in fragments, pulled in 1,000 directions, never fully stepping into her power. But a woman who owns her time, she becomes unstoppable. Not because she has more hours, but because she chooses better ones. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you're saying no to something powerful. That's how time works. It's a trade. You don't lose hours randomly, you spend them. Every conversation, every scroll, every task, every distraction is a transaction. The problem is, most people are so used to giving their time away for free that they forget how valuable it really is. You only get a limited amount of time in this life, and once it's gone, there's no refund, no rewind, no redemption. That's why the people who rise to the top, the ones who create impact, live with peace and walk with purpose, guard their time like gold. Because they know this truth, your time is your life, and if you give it away carelessly, you'll wake up one day with nothing left to build the life you were meant for. You do not owe everyone access to you. Just because someone asks for your time, your energy, or your attention does not mean you are required to give it. You are not a machine. You are not a convenience store. You are not on call for people who only remember you when they need something. One of the most powerful things a woman can do is draw a boundary, not out of anger, but out of alignment, out of self-respect, out of clarity. Protecting your time doesn't make you selfish, it makes you smart. Because if you don't protect it, someone else will claim it for their benefit, leaving you drained, distracted, and disconnected from your own purpose. We are trained, especially as women, to feel guilty for saying no. We're taught to be available, to be agreeable, to stretch ourselves thin in the name of being nice or supportive. But there is nothing supportive about self-neglect. There is nothing kind about betraying yourself to please others. Your time is not a donation, it's a resource, and it should be spent on things that nourish you, challenge you, grow you, and serve the life you're building. Saying no isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's you saying, I choose me today. I choose what aligns. I choose what fuels the woman I am becoming. Time is your battlefield, and not everyone deserves a seat at your war table. Not every call needs to be answered. Not every event deserves your presence. Not every conversation is worth your mental bandwidth. If you keep giving your hours to people and problems that don't elevate you, you'll never have enough left for the things that do. And let me be clear, it's not about being cold or distant. It's about being clear. It's about knowing your purpose so well that you no longer have to explain your boundaries. Your life becomes your answer. Your results speak louder than your justifications. When you start protecting your time, people will notice. Some will respect it. Others will resent it. That's okay, let them. Because the goal was never to be understood by everyone. The goal was to become the woman who honors her path unapologetically. You cannot be everything to everyone and still become everything to yourself. You have to choose. You have to decide that your time is sacred, and that includes saying no to the versions of yourself that settled, stalled, or stayed silent. The more intentional you are with your time, the more powerful your life becomes. You weren't born to be exhausted, overextended, and emotionally bankrupt. You were born to move with purpose, to walk with clarity, to build something extraordinary. And that only happens when you stop letting guilt lead and start letting growth lead. Your time is limited, your mission is massive, and your energy is gold. Treat it like it, guard it like it, use it like it. Because when you protect your time, you protect your future, and that's not selfish. That's the beginning of becoming unstoppable.